Hi, I am Rochelle, Bajana now, actually.
It's true.
From the Glotique, and we are a med spa in Miami, Florida, focused on keeping your skin glowing, healthy, and in a beautiful state at all times. And we have a new lash serum that came out, and we're going to talk about all things glow.
So, we dove right in, and I completely disregarded.
That's okay.
The
Don't you
order
edit
of
this
questions.
or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
he
fine.
does. No, we're totally fine.
Are we recording?
Yes, we
Oh,
are.
well, good. You got a lot of shit to go through.
The button is red. We are good.
Are we sure?
Yes, I see it.
Oh
It's
my
the
god,
little
so
red
funny.
button.
Okay, go ahead.
I know. Okay, so I have so many questions for you. Feel free to be like, hey, girl, it's too much.
I know, of course.
Chill. Okay, I wanted to start talking to you about your company first.
Okay.
So how did that come into fruition? Glotique.
So I was working in Fort Lauderdale, and I was working with two doctors in Fort Lauderdale. And originally, I was supposed to go into business with those two doctors and Savannah. We were going to open in Brickell. That was our first location. The Brickell, you know what? Remember I just said to you, force is a force?
Yes.
Everything seemed so forced. You know what I mean? Like, it was so impossible for all of us to get on the same page, meet at the location, get this thing together, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was like, for me, I was like, okay, I'm working. I loved, that was a great experience. I loved working with them. They were like mentors to me, because when you get out of school, you don't know anything, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know nothing about skin. So working with them was really great, and they gave me lots of flexibility and stuff like that, but I wanted us all to go together. It just wasn't working out, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, I can either stay in the situation that I'm in right now, or move on to something else. But if I stay in the situation, I'm going to get resentful, is how I felt, because I was like, I kept growing and growing and growing, but then I felt like I was getting held back. So it got to the point where I was just like, forget it. I'm just going to open up my own thing. And Vicky, I don't know if you remember Vicky. She's worked with me forever. She was my assistant. She's there. You'll remember. Blonde hair.
I was going to say, she's the blonde. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I remember her.
She was telling me about the
Very
filling
sweet.
station lofts, and she's like, but years ago. And then I went, and she goes, I've been telling you about these places. So I went to go look at it, and then I opened without Savannah and without the doctors, by myself.
Completely by
That was
yourself.
Unit 704. And then Savannah came with me and did, we opened in 815. So I did it just because I felt like I was outgrowing the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
So I was a hair and makeup artist for 10 years. Then I went into skin, because I was always doing skin anyway, like being a makeup artist. And Savannah was the one who told me to do it. And then once I outgrew makeup fully, I fully went into skin, and then I went into my own place. Oh, I'm not going to lie, owning your own business is way more work than you think it's going to be. And I used to own my own business. My ex-husband, way back when I was like 23, and I forgot all the little tiny things that go into it. And which is why it's like, it's hard, because it also is like, not only are you working with clients all day, but then you have the administrative side, then you have to do the social media side, then you have employees that you have working with you, and you have to make them have people, clients as well. It's like, there's so many little tiny things, and it's a lot. You really don't make as much money as you think you're going to make. You're like, oh, please, this is going to work out one day.
I know.
You do,
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I feel like that's where I am right now.
But then
Please let it work out.
But then right? But then you have control over your life too.
Yeah.
So it's also like, what's more important to you? Is it the money more important to you? Is your freedom more important to you? Hopefully you can have both, but it's and creatively too, right? So if you're a really creative person, it's kind of hard working for someone else, because you have all these ideas which got to run them by other people. So what is the most important thing to you? The most important thing to me is that, one, I have control over my time, because time is one thing you never get back, right? I can't buy my time back ever.
Exactly.
I don't care how much money, I'm never getting my time back.
Yeah.
One is my time. And two, it's me being able to really do what I want to do. Like, I do love being with women. I love talking to women. I love inspiring women. When I get messages and people are like, oh, you inspire me, I'm like, oh, I never thought in my life that I'd be that kind of person. But for me, it's like, I love making people feel really beautiful and really good about themselves. And nothing feels as good as feeling beautiful.
For
Really,
sure.
it's true. Whatever your definition of beauty is, because everyone's is different. But when you feel pretty, it just brings out a whole other side of you and your confidence level, right? Like nobody wants to not feel good in their own skin. Like this is your shell, right?
Exactly.
Your house the one house that you get, and who doesn't want to feel good?
That's
so really it's all those
perfect
things.
Yeah, perfectly said.
Mm-hmm.
Was it scary to open up the business by yourself?
No.
No,
I'll tell you why. The only reason I wasn't scared is because, like I told you, I did it before,
right,
when I was much younger. Also, I have lost companies before. I filed bankruptcy before.
Really?
I was on welfare before. I have done all the things. I had my car repoed in front of my house, my son's car seat in it. When you've been like knocked down a million times and you get back up, nothing's scary anymore. What's the worst thing that can happen? I'm going to fail.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'll do something else. I'll find something else to do. There is no, that's why you were saying like failure isn't an option. I'm never going to fail. If this doesn't work, it's just going to make me do something else.
Yeah.
So no, not at all. I wasn't worried about the money. I wasn't worried about any of those things. My whole thing going into the business was like, if I can make enough money by myself to sustain the business,
mm-hmm.
then everybody else that comes into the company is an add-on, and it's only going to help us grow and make us into more than what we are.
Right.
If I can't sustain this by myself, why would I do it? So
makes perfect
at all.
sense.
I wasn't scared at all.
I'm so happy that you said that.
I know.
Yes.
Most people are really scared
because it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, it is.
But what scares you the most?
Well, guess.
Failing.
Yes. That's why I was telling you, like, in telling you, I'm really telling myself, embrace the possibility of failure. Because what's the worst that can happen? That I do fail? Okay, well, whatever.
Well, also, if you think about it like this,
move on.
What are you worrying about? Because 99% of the stuff that we worry about never happens. So
yes.
it does not happen.
It never happens.
Because like you said earlier, it goes into a whole different direction. So
yes.
even when you worry, you're actually worrying about the wrong things because they don't even happen, right?
Exactly.
So it's just like every single day, you just have to like do your task at hand that's going to get you to the next day. Don't get me wrong. I have days where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody. But I just, put my problems on the problem tree and I get my ass to work and I do what I have to do because it's always just like the end goal. What are you working for?
Right.
As long as you're fulfilled that day, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Having your purpose clearly defined helps so much.
But no, I never worry about it. I really, really don't. Like, I never think of it like that.
I love that. I'm going to adopt your philosophy because I don't have time to be worrying about all this shit.
No, you spend so much time and energy worrying about shit that's never going to happen. Like, I think also, like I said, for me to lose everything and have to start over so many times, it was like, oh, okay.
Do you think that built your confidence as opposed to knocking it down?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I was kind of like, but I always like rolled with it. I'm always like, I just roll with it. I'm like, all right, what's next?
This is where we are.
I think you have so many trials and tribulations in your life, right? Like so many things that happen. So many, even from like when you're a little kid, your parents, upbringing, whatever the case may be, all those things like really define you. So you either like take it and run with it or you let it like trap you in a cage, I just feel like I don't know why I wasn't scared. But maybe I just am crazy. I don't know.
No,
I think it's normal to feel like nervous and scared.
Right. Yeah, but like you said, it makes sense. You had been through so much. You're like, what else would be new?
Also, I feel like the older you get, the less fucks you give about anything. I swear to God, it is so true. Like every year that passes, I'm like, ugh. Things I would have worried about when I was like 28.
Right.
I would never worry about now. I don't even care about. I don't even think about. I'm like, oh, just who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. It's like literally less and less and less fucks you give about anything. It's weird.
Another shirt.
Another shirt.
Another shirt, Jade.
Jade's gonna be like it's like it's true.
Oh my God.
I don't know if she can use that word. I mean, maybe she could. Who cares?
She's creative. She can figure something out.
She'll make
like
it look like something else.
Yeah, she'll work it. I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you touched upon a little bit about your relationship with women through your work, and I have to say it's super impressive. And I'm sure you've heard this before. The fact that not only you employ these ladies, but you also mentor them.
Yeah.
That's
hard. It's like having a lot of children.
It's difficult. Yes, because I'm sure there's so much that goes into it. Was that like a thing you set out to do?
Never.
Never.
Never. You know, it's crazy. Kind of happened really organically. So, even Vicky, even though Vicky doesn't work with me anymore, Vicky was my assistant when I did hair and makeup. Mm-hmm. And I remember working with her. Poor Vicky, I love you. I was so hard on that girl. Like, I don't know why I was so hard on her. Something in me was like, probably really saw something in her, you know?
Right, you saw her potential.
But I was so hard on her. I remember her coming to work and I was like, no, you got to cut your hair. You got to dye your hair. You got to do your nails. You got to do this. And I don't know what, I really don't. She was so talented and she's really like my daughter because she could be my daughter's age, you know? Well, not her age, but she could be my daughter. So
right.
I just saw her doing all these things that I was like telling her to do. And then I remember telling her, she wanted to go into skin. And I was like, oh no, Vicky. You're not going into skin. You're too talented with hair. You're too talented with makeup. I think you should go and get your license to do hair and then work with Savannah. And literally she did that. And she just is like becoming this woman. And I didn't even realize I was mentoring her and I was mentoring her. And Danica was the same thing. Danica, I've known since Danica was 19 and she was Jade's dance teacher. Aww. And then she became then she started working with me. She was like helping me with the kids. She was like my personal assistant. And then we knew this woman who had a med spa. I was like, you should go work there and you should get your esthetician license. And then she like went and did it, worked at another med spa for 6 years. And I took her and had her work with me. I didn't realize I was doing it while I was doing it.
You're like,
I had no idea I was doing it.
A bit of like a fortune teller. You can tell people what path to take. I love that.
I don't know. And they listened, I guess. I just.
Well,
it was great.
Because they can see you're not talking out of your ass. You actually know what you're referring to.
I mean, I really, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not think that these are things that you know, but obviously you've gained experience. Yeah. So you're able to. It was
nice though. It was great. But no, I never meant to do it. I never thought about doing it. But I mean, maybe it comes from like, just being my childhood, my mom, things like that. Like I always wanted someone to talk to me. I just wanted someone to be honest with me and direct me properly. And I think like that has a lot to do with like maybe how I am with women. Mm-hmm. Just someone who could be honest about everything that you can think of and just someone to guide you properly through life. Because what do you really know? Right. If you have no one really guiding you, what do you really know? You're just making all these mistakes.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn from your mistakes. And those mistakes could take years, they could take decades to fix if they're ever fixed, or you come back your next life and you gotta fix them. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it comes from like the need inside of me from when I was so young that just someone to talk to me. So when these girls just came into my life, and then I had Jade, so my relationship with Jade is way different than my relationship with my son. It just is. Right. Just because I guess we're girls or whatever, maybe that need I wanted for that figure in my life.
Right.
So maybe it just kind of like organically happened, or I subconsciously made it happen.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that you had enough awareness to know what was missing from you as a child and not make those mistakes with your children.
Oh, yeah. Well, you make mistakes with your children.
Well, but not those.
Not
right?
those.
Because you and your daughter are very close.
Very close.
Yeah.
I think with my kids, the one thing I would always say to them, let's go. I had an experience with my son, and it was not my most shining moment as a mom. Okay, so and I remember saying to him, I'm growing up with you. Everything that I'm doing with you is for the first time. Everything that I'm experiencing, especially I was such a young mom, is so new. So every mistake that I make in my life, you're gonna see. You're gonna be there. And all I can say is like, even if I do a bad thing, it doesn't make me a bad person. And just saying you're sorry. Like parents feel like they have to wear like a superhero cape, and you're like, oh, well, I don't do this. And that is such a lie. Every parent has gotten drunk. Every parent has done drugs. Every parent has parties, has had sex with the wrong person. Like, don't act like you've never done these things. And that like this, now you're a parent and your kids are like, I'm never going to get there. I'm always going to have to be so perfect to make you, to have you love me, or for you to feel a certain way, or whatever it is, when all that's not true. We're just human. Like, we mess up.
And that's so crippling.
It is crippling.
It's
Yeah.
it's exhausting to constantly have to live up to this ideal that it's not possible.
Right.
It's
So
how about we all just try to just be a good person.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
Be a good version of ourselves, and everything else will work out.
And just say you're sorry when you're wrong. You know, I've messed up so many times with my kids. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I think it's hard to tell your kids you're sorry.
It is because it
you're
really
I'm wrong.
Right. And it makes you look at yourself, right? Like I had never looked at myself the way I have now as a mom.
So as a mom, tell me this is one thing. Tell me if you do this, right? You ever see your kid doing something and you go, oh,
oh my God, yes.
Right? It's like they're just a mirror of you. And You're like, oh, and then the worst part is after you say that, then you realize you have to fix it. And that's even harder because if you don't fix it, then you've not evolved in any way, shape, or form. When you see your kid doing something that's totally a reflection of you, you have to fix it. But noticing it is the worst because you're like, oh, I do that.
That happened last week. Something happened and my daughter reacted in a certain way. And I was ready to be like, don't do. And then I was like, she looked exactly like me. Exactly like me. Her mannerism, the way she the tone in her voice. I was like, oh my God, that's what I look like.
I know. Isn't it horrible?
I'm such an asshole. So then, and then of course I go through all these different stages of guilt. Like, oh my God, why would I let her see me do that? Now she doesn't. And then my husband had to be like, look, chill. It's not that serious. Just you fix it and then she'll fix it and that's it.
Exactly.
So I'm like, oh, thank God for him that he can make, snap me out of it. Because I was ready to be like, I'm the worst person in the world.
I know. Every parent does it. Every mom does it. It's like you see what you're doing and you're like, oh, shit. But then sometimes we don't realize we're doing it either. And then we're really projecting our own shit onto them constantly. And then they're like becoming their own person. That's what happens as they're becoming teens. Which is actually my favorite age. It's so crazy because everyone says that, like, oh, the teens. I love teenagers.
I'm scared.
I'm telling you, if I could just mentor teens, they would have to be listening to me though, not defiant teens. But I love it because honestly, like you're watching them become their own person. Now they're taking all the things you taught them, all the things they've learned, and now they're taking it and becoming their own person, and it's the coolest thing ever. But you as a parent have to let them, and that's the hard part because now you have like an idea in your head of what you want them to be, and that's the hardest thing. Like being like, oh, you're not really gonna, you don't want to play sports like I did, or you don't want to dance like I did, or you don't want to be, a scholar like I was, and then that's when you have to be like, oh, okay. How do I take all these things you're really great at and what you're showing me and then move you into that direction and not take it personal and not try to make you what I wanted myself to be?
It's tough.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, it's the best. You're going to love, I love teenagers. Oh my God. Think of it like that and you'll love it.
Yes.
Except tweens. Tweens suck. They're like 11 to 12.
I know.
Horrible.
Yeah. I got my first "you're annoying" yesterday. And I was like, what? What? Like, I'm not annoying.
You're annoying.
And then, I was like, you're annoying. But then I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm annoying. That's fine.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
Let me just.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Oh, the tweens. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not the funnest. I'm not going to lie.
She's 10. And she's the sweetest girl.
I know.
But, yeah. And then I'm like, I can't reprimand her because I taught her to do those things, to say what she feels and be like, you're annoying me right now. Get out of my face.
All feelings are valid.
Yes. Jade, good job with that shirt.
Right. But it's true. It's like, okay, they're valid, but don't say it.
Just don't tell me like that. Like, sugarcoat it for me a little bit.
Jordan was a tough tween because we were also going through the divorce at the time.
Oh, that's such a hard age.
And I was like, I remember being like, Jordan, I love you. I just really don't like you right now. It was tough. It was tough. But then he got out of it. Like 13, 14, 15, it was great. Oh, it's just that little, because they're not like babies anymore, but they're not teenagers yet. So that's a hard one.
And they're going through so much too.
Yeah, their emotions, their hormones. They they're like I said, they're tweens. They're like that in between. They don't know what to do. You don't know how to treat them anymore because you're really still treating them like babies.
Yes.
But they're not. and they want to be treated like they're older, but
they're not.
So they're just like,
they're in this limbo.
It's not the funnest age. I'm not gonna lie, but whatever. It all goes by so fast.
I think you should totally do a
Jade.
teen mentoring program and do a podcast with Jade. I think that would benefit a lot of people.
I love it. I think it's fun.
I think it would be awesome.
Be like table talk, except we're not as famous.
We might get better. Yeah. I mean, that's my ego talking, but I think we could do a better job.
It's my ego.
It's my ego talking. It's here with us today. But I think we could do a really good job.
I'm dying. Oh my God, it's my ego talking. I'm totally going to be better. Sorry, Jada.
Ours won't be red or circle. We could do our own thing.
Change it.
Yeah.
Make it something else.
I'm totally down. I don't have a teenager, but I taught teenagers for like 11 years.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. I loved it.
See, you love teenagers.
I do, but they weren't mine. I got to go
home.
Them
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like I hang out with you.
Like your problems are not my problems. Bye.
Yeah, like, okay, that's it. Go home.
Yeah.
And, deal with your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm totally going to out them right now, but who cares? One of my students that I mentored for 4 years, it's funny how life works. Somehow in adulthood, him and my sister met up. Got into a relationship and they're now engaged. So I'm like, look at this little fucker. He's not my family.
Yeah. Oh, that's super weird though. You're like, I knew you when you were like awkward and dumb.
Yeah. I know. You're like my brother-in-law and you're going to give me nieces and nephews. Ooh. It's, no. But we're super excited. We're happy to have him in the family.
You're like, I know you liked me for so many years. It's weird how people like connect. Like, what's that, 6 degrees of separation?
Yes.
It's like everyone kind of like eventually connects.
I know.
It's so weird.
It's
crazy.
So funny. It's so funny. Yeah. Now it's like, that's the joke. He's like, there's no way you're having a speech or wedding because you know all my shit.
Find some old pictures. I'm sure you
have them. I have them. Mm-hmm. I have tons of embarrassing pictures and stories. Those are the good ones.
That's what I would do. Just have a little slide of it.
I won't say anything. Here, just take a look. Look at the pictures. So we dove a little bit into the dynamics of your business, but I want to talk to you about your customer service because you obviously are dealing with people all day long, and your customer service is.
I just rolled my eyes. Sorry.
I mean, it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who deals with people understands, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but your customer service is top notch.
Thank you.
Like it's award worthy. Has it won any awards? Because if it hasn't, it should. Like,
I have to say we have. I've never gotten a negative review, call, ever from anyone so far. So I'm not gonna let this happen. So my approach to it is, it's great because, like I said, I own my own business, right? I personally, what I do is I choose you just as much as you choose me.
I love that.
Yeah. Because I'm at the point in my life where peace of mind is so important. So I'm with you for X amount of time, which is usually like an hour and a half per person, which is a lot of time for me to be with you. I want to make sure we vibe.
Yeah,
and for sure. I don't want to be around anyone that I don't vibe with, ever.
Same.
So sometimes it's not that I don't, like some people and I, like myself, maybe we don't vibe the best. So like I'll maybe give them to the other girls or whatever, the clients. But I want everybody to come because they do. Like people spend a lot of money. I was like, they're spending a lot of money to come here and see us. So what's going to make us, on top of us giving you really great skin, what's going to make us so different? Why do people want to come here? Why? Why do you want to come to me? What makes me so different than every other esthetician? Because there are some really amazing estheticians out there who have far more experience than I have. Why are you coming to me and my girls than them? And it really is because you have to make people feel good. In a world where everything is on your phone and everyone's in front of the camera and everyone seems so fake and there's no like realness. Like, how do you connect with people? How am I going to connect with you?
Exactly.
I have to make you feel good. So it's just, I'm choosing you just as much as you choose me. And if we vibe, that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's like it's different than like selling a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got it, like that sells to the masses. You know what I'm saying? I take what 5 clients a day. You know what I'm saying? Like super, like I can choose you. You know, and if we do our job properly, of course people are gonna come back. Of course people are gonna refer other people, and it's really because like not only do we give you what you want, which is really great skin, it's just making people feel like I told you, I love making people feel good and beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it if someone just, even if they come to me one time, had a really great experience. Like I would feel so horrible if someone came to me and was like, I had the worst experience with Rochelle. That would make me feel worse than me fucking up their skin. If I mess up their skin, which doesn't happen, but like say they had like had a reaction to their skin, I'm like, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. But if someone said they had a horrible experience with me, I would feel really bad.
Have you ever had like a difficult client?
One time I had a difficult client, but not when she was in my presence. It was the aftermath. After. She was just one of those people that she had like really sensitive skin, and so sometimes when you have sensitive skin, you get like little tiny bumps afterwards, which is super normal. I'm like, whatever. But she was so extra that it was like beyond extra. I'm sorry.
I don't
like,
mean to laugh.
This girl was so extra. She like threatened to sue us and do all this shit. And I'm like, and like at first I tried to help her. Like she sent me pictures. I gave her this one I was working with the doctors. I gave her the doctor's number. I said, call the doctor. They'll tell you what to do. Like she didn't want to hear anything I had to say. She's like, no, I want to go to my dermatologist. But she ended up going to her dermatologist like 3 days later, which didn't make sense. Right, if it's
I
that
guess
bad.
It's not an emergency.
Yeah. Then put makeup on top of the irritated skin, which I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But she was just one of those people. Obviously, she didn't do anything. Can't sue me for your skin having a reaction. You signed consent forms. That was my only time I had someone who was like so over the top, where it was just like, it was just stressing me the fuck out. But my experience with her was fine. It was
after.
Aftermath.
Yeah.
But I've never had someone have like a bad experience ever get that. Like, watch me have one now because
no. We're not gonna jinx
Whenever
it.
you say something, it happens.
No. We're not gonna. Honestly, I don't see how anybody could have a bad experience. Because for people that haven't been at Glotique, it's like going on a vacation.
Oh,
it is. Like you walk in and everybody's happy and everybody's friendly. Because I don't know if that has happened to you, but when I've been to other places, there's this very, what's the word I'm looking for? High and mighty attitude. Like, oh, you're here. And then you have to like kind of beg them to help you. Like, hey, I'm here for my appointment. I'm just like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, I showed up. Help me.
But we do that too. Like everyone that we have there, like Savannah and I, we really like kind of like handpick them. Yeah. And if they're not vibing with us, I mean, you have to let them go. If they are not, and you could tell immediately if people aren't like, you just got to let them go real quick. And so that way there's no bitterness. They don't hate you. You're just like you're not the right fit for us. They have to fit with what we're trying to do, what we feel, and how we want women to feel. And if they don't operate or they don't see through the same lens that we do, they're not going to be there.
So how do you go about letting someone go?
I hate firing people. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Like my hands are sweating just asking you about it, and I'm not even the one doing it.
Personally really hate firing people. It makes me sick to my stomach. The first time I ever fired someone, I was 23.
Oh my God, that's such a young age.
First, I was like way too young to fire people. I couldn't even do it. This person deserved to get fired. He was like doing coke at work. So like, why wouldn't you get fired, right?
Of course.
That's grounds for firing someone.
I mean, that's illegal,
Thank
right?
you. It's also illegal. So I remember trying to fire him. And my ex-husband had to come out and help me. I couldn't do it. I could not fire him. It was so hard for me. After that one, it was easier after that. But now it's more like... I obviously have conversations with people, but I'm also working with women that are professionals too. So it's a whole different ball game, a whole different kind of person that you're dealing with. Like you're dealing with people who this is their career. Like they want to work. They want to be there. That's not like, oh, I'm just like a server or something like that. It's different. you just have to like have the conversation, just be like, the same way I said to you, like it's just not working out. Like I think you're fit for something other than us. You know what I mean? Like,
ouch.
you just have to tell them
Yeah.
just like that. It sucks. It's not
Yeah.
fun at all. But when you do it, like, and you know it's right for you and your business, I always think of it like this: like it's not just me anymore. I have so many other people to worry about. I have to worry about Cheat. I have to worry about my girls. I have to worry about Savannah. I have to worry about Savannah's girls. I have to worry about all these other things.
And your customers
and my
too,
customers.
because
so if I think about it, if I just
Yeah.
got to get out of my own head because there's all these other things relying on me, then I have no choice but to move appropriately. I'm like, okay, well,
right.
it just sucks. It's not fun. It's never fun. It's never fun.
Yeah,
It's never
but
fun. I hate it. I'd rather have someone else do it.
I know. Oh, but that's when you gotta be the boss and
I know
do what you gotta do.
Oh, it's the worst part about being a boss.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. No, but but I do understand what you mean though. Like you've created such a good system of and group of people
Yeah.
around you that I'm sure those instances are far in between.
Yeah.
They don't really happen.
No.
Yeah. So then it makes sense to spend time working on the foundation.
Yeah. I'd rather like put my
Yeah.
energy into like the people that I have and be like
Right.
and build them up, and then we introduce new people. Like, I don't want to introduce anybody new until they are where they need to be.
That's another thing that interested me about your business model. You don't seem to be afraid to let people grow.
Hell no, I want them all to be better than me. Are you crazy? I'm like, if
love
I
that.
make you guys all better than me, then I did my job.
Yeah. But you know
Like I'm not in
that's
competition with them.
you
no.
know that's not common. Right?
Yeah.
Like most people they want to be the shining light and
Yeah.
everybody else to be shadows in the back.
No.
You know, like your
I want to. I
background
personally-
dancers.
I would personally love to be in the shadows and like let everyone
Yeah.
else shine, and then I can like be like, you know, just guiding them. That would be.
Yes.
That's the goal.
That's why you're
Yeah.
so successful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
your heart's in the right place.
I think it's great when people feel like.
Yeah.
Think about it. If they feel good, if people feel good coming to work, they're always going to be loyal to you.
Right.
You know, you have to treat people like
Yeah.
they're somebody. Everyone knows. Most people know more than you do. You just treat them, you know, a certain way.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong damn room.
Oh
so
my
if I'm the
God,
smartest person in that
yes.
room, I'm in the wrong room. I need everyone around me to add value to the company, to the clients. Like they have to add something. If they're not bringing what I bring or more,
Right.
unnecessary to have them there.
I want to talk to you about social media. How do you, and is there even a way to have a positive relationship with social media?
I don't know. Such a love-hate relationship with social media.
I love that. I don't know.
really like. I do like. I love it because I wouldn't have a business without it. Everybody finds me from social media. I could be in a hole in the wall and they'll find me
know.
because of social media, which is like such a blessing because you don't have to like be a storefront, right?
Mhm.
Which is great. Yeah. But then it's all the other things that come along with social media. And I think the hardest thing with social media is not looking at what everyone else is doing. Because that's
interesting.
That's the death of you, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're constantly looking at your competition and you're constantly looking at what everyone else is doing, it really distracts you from what you're doing.
Right.
Because everyone has their niche. Like, it could be anything. Like, I mean, like I said, there's millions of estheticians out there. There's millions of people doing podcasts out there, right? If you're constantly looking at what everyone else is doing, unless they're inspiring you,
Yes.
different. If you're looking at them like your competition, or why don't I have that? Why don't I have that many followers? Why don't I have that many likes? Why don't I have this? You're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have to like just say hyper focused on
Right.
what makes you you. I noticed when this was really hard for me. When I opened my business, I had to start focusing on the girls too. I had to start focusing on their social media and getting them to
Oh my
where they need to
goodness.
be, right? It's not
Yeah.
just my social media anymore.
Wow, I didn't
now
think of that.
it's theirs too. And I noticed that I took a step back from what I was doing. So I wasn't talking as much. You'll notice I don't do as many videos because I don't really have the time anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm focusing on all other things. But I noticed there's a big gap of time where I stepped back way too much, And I'm like, whoa, I'm really losing focus on who I am, because what really made me Glow by Row?
True.
And it was me just talking shit.
Yeah.
I mess up all the time. I curse. I'm like, sorry. I tell people my life stories. I'm super honest about the things that I've been through. And I think that's what people like. They just like, people will come to me like, I know about your daughter. I know about your son. I know about this. I know about, and they like it. They just want to feel connected to you. There's that,
right.
They have to feel something for you.
Yeah.
What makes
and you're
someone,
a real person.
Yeah. What makes someone so great, and if they're doing the same thing and you're not so great, is because there's no connection. Like, people don't feel, or you're too scared, or you don't want to put your stuff out there, or you're worried about what everybody else thinks. Like, there's 8 billion people in the world. Someone's going to like you.
Yeah, exactly. And talk to them. Don't think about the ones that said they don't like you.
I really think that's what it is. I think you just have to focus more on what you're doing and not what everyone else is doing. Like I said, unless they inspire you. I remember when I was doing, what was it, a couple years ago? I got my septum pierced. Do you know how many people insulted me about my septum piercing?
No way.
Oh my God. I was the weirdest shit ever. I don't know. They would write comments. They would say all these things. And I was just like, God, what is wrong with you people? But it was like that small percentage of people. Now, I could have like taken it out and been upset and went on a rant about it. But I was like,
that's when you keep it on.
I was like, who cares? But everyone has something to say about you too, no matter what. So you have to like tune all that shit out.
Right.
I don't really get that much negative feedback. I would say Glow by Row, because Glotique used to be Glow by Row. That account used to be.
Oh, it used to be the same thing?
I changed it over to Glotique because I had enough followers. But it was mostly because I did makeup and stuff like that, and I always had pretty girls. So it was actually like a lot of men. I finally got up to like 66% women, which is great. But Glow by Row, my personal page is like 90% women. Like, what do they... I don't attract men. I don't attract this, like moms and business women. That's all it is. Moms and business women.
Right.
Like real people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I get impatient with the growth, but then I really focus on having my audience be real people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like people that they don't necessarily need to be in the city, but are just a real person.
That's what you want. You want your followers to actually be real followers. You want them to really interact. You know, you want that your whole point of what you're doing is interaction.
Exactly.
So for you, it's like, I need you to interact with me. So whether it's 2,000, 10,000, 2 million, like, what is your interaction like, you know?
Right. Yeah.
That's what matters, you know? I mean, if you wanted a lot of likes, you could show your ass and tits.
I might get a thumbs down.
No. There's someone for everybody. You could probably do your feet and you'd get like 1 million likes, because there's some people with feet foot fetish.
Get ready for feet pictures. And a book so we can make it, I'm
serious. Like, wait, think about it, right? Like, it's so crazy. Oh my God. People like the weirdest shit. I'm like, why?
That's so funny.
It's true.
Oh my God, you're making me laugh so much. I haven't laughed this much in an episode ever.
Oh, yay, that's good.
That's too funny.
You know?
I feel like you've seen, I've been to Glotique only one time. I gotta go back. But
she does. You're holding her to it now.
You've seen you've seen me in, what's the word? Vulnerable.
Yeah.
And now you're here making me laugh my ass off. This is awesome. Do you remember when you did that thing that you covered my eyes? So sometimes I get anxiety.
Did it give you anxiety? A little bit?
Yeah. And I was like, don't cover my mouth. I at least have to talk.
I don't even ask people anymore if they want. I just leave I leave everyone's mouth open, because I'm like, forget it. Everyone's gonna they can't do it. They have to talk or they can't breathe and they're freaking out. You know?
It was so good though. Like when you finally took it off, it was like you could feel.
But now I have an oxygen dome, and we can do that on you instead. And it's the best thing ever.
So that means like my eyes won't be covered?
No, it almost looks like you're like an alien, and like not an alien, an astronaut. An alien, stupid. And it like covers you, and it's amazing. You'll fall asleep.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. Sign me up for that.
We won't do a mask. We'll do that instead.
Do it all. I don't care. As long as you don't leave and you stay there listening to me talking crap like you did last time, I'm good. That's all I need.
Don't worry. You're going to be fine. I'll talk you off the head.
Oh my God. That's so funny. So back to social media. And you have an experience with teenagers.
Mm.
How do you think, what would you suggest to parents now having
With social media?
Yeah, and their kids?
Like,
at what age did you allow your kids to have a phone?
Oh God, I think there were, well, not with social media, just having a phone.
Oh, that's true.
So it's a
different thing. Yeah.
Because like when they're like 7, I don't think they have social media.
No.
I just think it's crazy. This is the thing with social media. Like I said, so I have a love-hate relationship with it because it can, so many people that never had the opportunity to ever be seen in their life can be seen. Like from the poorest of the poor person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like someone, let's just say you're like a phenomenal, guitarist or violinist or whatever you want to call it. And, but who's going to see you? Who's gonna really see you? And now you have an opportunity for millions and millions and millions of people to see you, and that one person that can change your whole life, right? So look at like the possibilities of it. And then there's that whole slippery slope of what you're interacting and what you're looking at. Every day, what you're looking at is really like who you are, right? So every single day, you're looking at all these perfect girls with all these filters and all their alterations that they've done. What do you think it's going to do to a teenage girl?
It's
Do you know what I'm saying?
devastating. Yeah.
So it's like you have to build their character first. Like my son never wanted social media. I thought it was so weird. He was like 15, 16. I'm like, why don't you want social media? He likes Snapchat. I was like, all right, whatever. However, I won't even let my daughter have Snapchat because I think I don't like the app. So
yeah,
whatever. I think Jade was maybe 11 or 12. I can't really remember, but I monitored it and I would have it. And so I would like have access to everything. Like I would see everything she was doing, but then they make private accounts. It's like, how do you?
I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard. I think each person, each individual is different. I think you have to gauge it by your child. Mm-hmm. Is your child responsible enough to have it? Do they have other things going on? Are you finding them becoming addicted to it? I think before you even let kids have social media, you need to have a full conversation with them about porn because porn is huge and people have no idea how young kids are looking at it, what it does to their psyche, how it can totally fuck them up. Like no idea. There's articles and all kinds of people have done interviews and reports on it. It's like actually really
it's a
serious
real thing. Yeah.
It's like very real.
Yeah.
So I think before you do any of that, you have to have these real conversations with your kids. You have to have conversations about sex. You have to have conversations about all these things. And how comfortable are you with those conversations? Mm-hmm. Because they're going to start really young.
Yeah. And then if you don't have it, someone else will have it with your child. Right. Which is really
So that's
scary.
what I tell my kids. I was like, that, you going to your friends is the blind leading the blind, right? I want you to learn from your friends. Your friends are just as stupid as you are. What is your girlfriend going to tell you about anything who doesn't know? I want you to listen to me. So if you start that super young, hopefully you can cultivate that relationship and then the trust is there. And then you have to just watch them. You have to see how do they behave? How do they move when they have it?
Yes.
How do they move?
Yeah.
If you start seeing you know them better than anyone. You're going to know your kid and you can't be in denial. You can't be like, oh, that's not my kid.
Right. You got to be super honest with yourself
you have to be
about
real.
what you're seeing.
It's there. It's going to be there. And if they're not seeing it from their phones, they're seeing it from their friends' phones. You're fucked.
Everywhere you go.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just have to, you have to teach them properly. You have to teach them to respect it. Like, I'm so happy I grew up without social media.
Me too.
I'm so happy that social media didn't happen until like my mid-20s. So I had a whole life to experience without it, to have moments without, oh, wait, my food. Yes. Oh, wait. Don't eat yet. Don't drink yet. Let's cheers together. I am so fucking happy I didn't have that. That bothers me. And I know everyone does it and it's a thing or whatever, but I get it. We want to take pictures and look at the moment, but don't you want to just enjoy the moment at any given time? So I'm so happy that I was able to ride my bike to my friend's house. I had a fucking stupid pager. You know what I mean? There was a payphone down the street. Right. There was no, you had to go home to talk to people. You could actually...
And the moments live here.
Mm-hmm. And you could actually escape.
Yeah.
You could break up with someone and never see them again. Never hear from them again. Never see who they're dating. You were you were literally free But then, like I said, then there's all those other opportunities you didn't have. Like, remember when you used to have, how old do you? I forget.
37.
Okay, so
I was like 35.
Do you remember when you used to write a paper and you had to go to the library?
Yes.
And
research.
And go to the encyclopedia.
Yes.
What? Who does that? You go on Google and your life is easier. We had to do all those things.
I know.
That was not fun. But
I forgot about that. How I had to schedule library time.
Oh, remember? And then trying to write.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then when we first got computers.
Research those study rooms. Not research, I'm sorry. Book those study rooms so that you could spend 4 hours in there without anybody bugging.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now they can just sit by themselves but so it's there's just balance and there's just no way to escape it.
Yeah.
You just have to see, just hopefully they don't get so obsessed with it.
Right. I think what you said though is important. Do they have other things going on?
Yeah.
Are you helping them or are you teaching them to build a life that's multidimensional and not just this one thing?
Yeah.
And,
But then you think of social media too, it's also created so many job opportunities for people.
Yeah.
It's endless job opportunities. There's so much. And it's just such a small percentage that we've tapped into. It's going to be so much more.
Right.
So like I said, even Jade with her shirts, who would have ever seen her shirts if she wasn't on social media? Who?
Exactly.
No one. Or me, Savannah, our lash serum, no one would see it if we were on social media. We would try to get into stores. We'd have to, make all these meetings and they'd want to see, if we weren't somebody, we weren't going to get into anything. So it's
right.
How do you use it? Use it as a tool? Do you use it as a vice?
Yeah.
I
think that's the key, to teach them the right way, if there is a right way.
Yeah.
And there has to be. We have to figure it out at some point, right? Because if not, like you said, there's just so many negative sides to it.
There's so many, but then there's so many positives too. So
yeah,
trust me, if you want to punish your children, just take all their technology away, and their whole life is miserable. It's not you can't go out because nobody cares about going out.
Yeah, now that's not a thing anymore.
They didn't do what we did. They didn't ride their bikes. They didn't go to their friends' houses. They didn't knock on their friend's door. This is oh, let me take your phone for a month.
Yeah, no.
Watch them die.
They would. Yeah.
They're going through withdrawals and shit.
For real. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I've done it to Jane.
You've done it?
Oh God, yeah, for 3 months. No phone, no technology, nothing.
And you stuck to
Hell
it?
Yeah.
You didn't break?
Nah.
I feel like I would break.
No way.
No. You're such a good girl here.
No. I need them to
yeah.
No, there's consequences to their actions. If
For
I don't
sure.
teach them the consequences, you know what's going to happen when they go in the real world? The real world's going to teach them. And then they're going to be entitled because they feel well, they didn't grow up like that.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen to me. I'm perfect. My mom says I'm perfect. I'm great. I'm perfect. I can get away with this.
Yeah.
And
you're so
And then I just brought another asshole into the world.
Yeah. You're so right. You're so right. Yeah, it's hard.
They can use your phone. You can be here, you can use my phone. I'm going to sit right next to you. That's what I used to do.
And I'm going to watch.
She used to be oh, call my friends. I'm yeah, here. Sit right next to me and call her.
But look at
poor Jade.
Now
Jordan too, though. Oh my God, poor thing. But he was actually he just sat in his room and was a gamer, so I didn't care.
Navy, no?
Air Force.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, he must be so proud.
Yeah, he's in Saudi Arabia right now.
Oh.
He hates it. He hates Saudi Arabia. He loves Japan, but Saudi Arabia, he's I'm ready to go. Yeah, he's been there for 6 months. He's ready to go.
That's a long time.
Yeah, living in a tent.
Oh, ouch. Oh man, it takes a lot of character.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him.
To stick to something like that.
I love it. I'm glad he went. It's a great experience. He gets to travel the world, meet all people from all over the world, and just live his life until he wants to get married, or if he gets married, or if he has kids, whatever he wants to do, he gets to enjoy his time. Just figure out what you want to do in life.
Right. Now you brought up marriage. You're a newlywed?
How exciting. Isn't that weird? It's so weird to me. Thank you.
No, it's not weird because I thought you guys have been married for a long time. You're so...
No, we're new.
Perfect for each other. It's crazy.
No, he's so great. He's sweet.
So tell me about your 90-day rule.
I knew you were going to ask me about that.
I have to ask.
So
I warned you though. I told you I needed to talk to you about this.
So when I'll start from when I was I got married at 20. And I was married until 32. And then I got divorced from my ex-husband. So imagine I never really had a single life, even from like 16. Like you're not really single, whatever. You always have like boyfriends here and there. You don't know shit about shit. So I get divorced, and I wasn't really that single. Like I would meet someone and then it would be like, oh, that's your boyfriend. You know, I never really learned about myself, what I liked, what I didn't like. You know, I had no real idea. I just kind of went from like boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. At 35 or 36, I had this terrible experience with this guy I was dating, and he was living with me. And we were together for about a year and a half. And he actually cheated on me in my house with my friend.
No way.
And I know it's not funny. I'm laughing because it's uncomfortable. So I know, who does this happen to? I told you, when you get knocked out enough, you're fine. Your friend? But the only reason I knew was because I had a doggy cam, and I heard everything. So after this situation, which it wasn't like I was so in love with this guy. It really had nothing to do with me being so in love with him or being so heartbroken. I think one, it was my ego for sure. Two, I stayed in a situation that I knew was wrong. You know, when signs are there, signs are there. And I needed to learn this lesson. Unfortunately, it was a very hard lesson to learn, right? It's really funny because you should ask Savannah. Savannah's actually with me. We were in Bahamas when it happened. So, where's Savannah?
Did you get like an alert on your phone?
I had alerts from the camera. I remember looking at the camera, and there was like over 1,000 alerts. So I was like, this is weird. And then, but you know what? The signs were, like I said. So after that happened, I don't know what happened to my brain. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with guys. I'm done with dating. I'm done with this. I don't want to be with anyone. I'm with myself. I was like, fuck this. I dated a lot of guys, because I was like, I didn't even realize I was doing this either. Like I was just trying to get over the situation, heal myself, and I was like, I'm never going to be in a relationship if I'm not in a healthy state. Like, forget, this is like, the common denominator is me, right? Yeah. I'm the problem, because I'm attracted to trauma because of my traumas and my issues. I think that I'm emotionally available. I'm not really emotionally available. I'm saying I'm emotionally available, but what am I doing to show people? All my actions point in this direction. So clearly, I'm going to keep finding people that are right in that same direction that I'm going in. So what do I have to change about myself? That is the hardest thing to do, because you're literally domesticated. You don't realize how domesticated you are. Your brain operates the way it operates from all your past experiences. And you have to be so hyper aware of what you're doing and how you're feeling and what's triggering you. Yeah. And that requires you to be alone and to not be distracted by somebody else, because that person heavily influences you without you realizing it. Your husband's behaviors and your husband's emotions or your kids' emotions are going to directly affect you without you even realizing it. Yeah. If your husband's upset right now, or let's say you got in a fight this morning, your whole demeanor would be different right now. And you wouldn't even realize it unless you're really in a healthy state and you realize it's a you problem, not a me problem. I got to go. Right? So I was dating all these guys, and then I ended up dating this one guy that I actually really, 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 really liked. Like, I hadn't liked someone like this in so long. Like, we connected so well, and we had, we were kind of in the same industry and all this stuff. And I started noticing little patterns that he was having that really weren't in alignment with me, that were making me like kind of feel bad. He wasn't a bad person. It was just making me feel bad. And the commitment wasn't there either. And I was like, okay, Rochelle, what are you doing again? What are you doing again? What are you doing again? What are you doing? What are you doing? So this person happened to go like 5 days without talking to me or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not dealing with this fucking shit. I literally sent a video, not even a text, a video of me talking, and cut the whole relationship off when it was so hard for me. Person didn't cheat on me. The person didn't lie to me. And that's what I think, I don't know about most people. What I would always do, or most people do, is they wait for someone to do something so bad to them to let them go, instead of just being like, you know what, this just doesn't make me feel good. I don't want this. I don't want to not feel good. I want to be with someone that makes me feel good. Life is hard enough as it is. We're going to fight anyway. Like, fuck this shit. So I let this person go and I was like, I have worked so hard on myself for so many years, so many self-help books, so many bad relationships, so much time taken away from my kids, all this stuff to let somebody else make me feel bad and steal my peace of mind. Nah, I'm not doing this anymore. And after that guy, I was like, I'm going to do 90 days. I'm going to do, because I already had a 21 day, so I already had a 21 day no contact rule. So whenever I stopped talking to someone or stopped dating them, I literally make or break a habit, 21 days.
Right.
I would go no looking at their social media, no looking at their text messages for 21 days. And it was like the best thing ever because it really does. Because remember I told you when we grew up, we didn't have to talk to people. Right. And now you see it. And every time you look, every time you text, every time you connect, it draws you back in. Yeah. And it puts you back at square one. So I already had that going on. So I already knew my 21 days. I'm like, 21 days, not talking to you, whatever. But then I was like, I'm going to go 90 days, like a job. If you go to the bank and you try to get a job at a bank or any corporate America job, what are they going to do? They're going to put you on a 90-day probation to see if you're worth having. Are you worth health insurance? Are you worth life insurance? Are you worth a 401k? They're not just going to like, hey, here, you had a great interview. You deserve all this. They don't do that.
Right.
You have to earn it. People have to earn your trust. Like they have to earn your heart. It doesn't mean being like closed off. Mm-hmm. It just means like, I need you to show me what you're made of. I already know what I'm made of. I want to see what you're made of, right? Yo, not one guy would make it past 40 days, 42 days. I was like, so it would be like, I already know all the things I like about you, right? Mm-hmm. So I would be like, I want to see what I don't like about you. I want to take my rose-colored glasses off and I want to look at you for you. I know you're beautiful. Yeah. I know you're fun. I know you're funny. I know you like to dance. I know you like music. But are you rude? Are you thoughtless? Are you inconsiderate? Are you self-absorbed? What are all the things that I don't like about you? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm never going to change this about you. I accept it or I don't, right? Like if I buy a dog and I try to make it into a cat, that dog's never going to be a cat. It's a fucking dog. Like accept it for what it is. So that's all I basically did. It wasn't like 90 days, no sex, 90 days. It was like, I have 90 days to see you for you. And then what are your red flags? Mm-hmm. And I mean, let me tell you, in 30 days, everyone's good. Everyone's good straight out the box, right? Good morning. How are you? You look beautiful. Can't wait to see you. Good night. Da, 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 da. All the good fun stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, some people pull back. Some people start ignoring you. Some people like don't respect your time, whatever it is, whatever your boundaries are, right? So it started making me create very, very, very healthy boundaries. And when I would date someone, I might like them, but then I would find things I didn't like. And it could be anything. It could have been like I was dating a guy that really, really wanted children. And I'm like, not going to happen. Or someone for me that doesn't have any kind of spiritual belief. Like, I don't care what you believe in. I don't care who it is that you believe in, but believe in something. And when I meet people that have no faith at all in anything, I don't want someone like that in my life. How am I going to talk to you about things that I feel if you don't feel that way too, right? So it was really that simple. It really became that simple. And it actually got easier and easier and easier and easier to just like let it go and be like, and be honest about it.
Yes.
Instead of just ghosting someone, which I hate.
I know.
More than anything, because I hate to be ignored. So if someone ignores me, I'm like, if you want to make me crazy, just ignore me. So
yes.
They make me nuts. So
talk to me. Even if you're not going to be nice about it, just say it.
So basically it was that. And I'd be honest, like, look, I really like you. You have all these great qualities about you, but they're just not for me. And that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with someone not being for you. And I think when I was younger, it was like, oh, you're dating like them. They have to be your boyfriend now. Right. Oh, you have to be with them, or you have to put up with certain things. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Right.
So when I met Angel, first off, I never looked at Angel like that. It wasn't like it was like this instant like love connection. It wasn't like, oh my God, like we knew we were going to start dating. It was none of that. Like, I thought he was cool as fuck. And I used to laugh at his Instagram because he talks shit all the time. You know what I mean? And he rants, and he was from New York. So I love that he was from New York. He opened up 2 elevations, 2 other, now he has 3, 2 of them when we were going through the pandemic. So I had just opened during the pandemic. So I would just talk to him like business. Like was never anything like that. And I remember being in the gym one day and I was like, you should come in. You're downstairs from us. You can get a facial, get guys to come in here. Still didn't think of it like that. You know, I never looked at him like that. And then we just vibed as friends. I was like, oh, he's kind of cool. He's like a cool guy. And I had told him about my 90-day rule, like once we started like obviously talking. And he just looked at me like, all right, you know, and he just in that time, he just never showed me anything that I wasn't going to be able to live with.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. He can do some shit that annoys the shit out of me. Right? But I'm just like, but that's who he is. Like all the things that I really love about Angel are a lot of things that I don't like about him too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting.
100%.
So for example, like I love the fact that he is, you know, he is like super aggressive and passionate about work. And he is like relentless, but sometimes that's annoying.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, not that he works all the time, so I don't care about stuff. I love working. So, but like, it's like, but then he's like that with everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just like, so, but that's the person that you chose. That's the things you love about them. But are you able to deal with it? It comes down to that. Like, can I live with this personality trait?
Yeah.
And that's all.
That's so interesting because, and something you said really makes a lot of sense. That I don't feel a lot of people do when they're entering a new relationship. You mentioned removing the rose-colored glasses. Yeah. And that takes a lot of effort because at that beginning stage, you're like living the illusion. Yeah. And all the possibilities of what it's going to turn into. And you're just at this high. Yeah. That you don't want to come down and be like, let me look at you for who you really are. But
maybe that happened to me because I was broken so many times too. Yeah. And then I realized that living in that illusion is the death of you. It's like, you're really crippling yourself living like that. And it's silly.
Because you're not living in reality. Yeah. And then when the shit does hit the fan, you're like, what happened? Where did this come from?
But it was, and you know, I like, when I look at it, like, this is what I try to teach my daughter too. I say, it was always there. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. People show you exactly who they are. Yeah. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask them questions. All you have to do is pay attention. Yeah. All you have to do is open your eyes and pay attention, and stop being so ignorant in your own way, thinking your ego, you're so great and you're so different. Like, you know, I'm different. They're not going to do that to me. Yeah. I'm different. They love me. That's a lie.
What's that meme that went around for a while? Like, I'm not like other girls or some crap like that. Do you remember that?
Girl, you are like every other girl.
Yes. We're all pretty much the same.
You know, and that's a, you know, people probably maybe think like maybe it's a little insensitive of me, or maybe I'm wrong. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, whatever. But I'd say I'm like, as heartless or as mean as it sounds, you're not special. No. You're just not, not that you're not special. We're all special in our own way. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not that special that if, let's say, you enter into a relationship.
The world's not going to bend for you.
Right. Like, let's say you enter.
It works the way it works. Yeah. And it's not going to bend.
No.
For you.
And you're like, that's, you know, it's like, or let's say you enter into a relationship and let's just say that person was cheating on their significant other with you. Let's just say that was the case, right? Yeah. Why on earth would you think you're that different? You just literally got into a situation where this person lied to this person, did this, did that. I'm not saying maybe very far few in between, like, that's what was, but the reality is no.
Maybe like less than 1% actually.
Or, you know, getting married to your childhood sweetheart. I mean, what is a small percentage of it that it really works? Did you? Yeah. And you're still in love?
Yes.
See, okay, you heard that, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying, like, it's
no. But you know what's funny? I never thought that it would happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, we were just dating and we would see where it would take us.
But, like, do you know the small percentage of people like that actually, like, one, do it, two, sustain it? Yeah. Because think of how different you are from your teens, your 20s, your 30s. Like, you're a completely different human being. So for you to evolve and grow with someone like that, that's beautiful and amazing. Right. But it's super rare because you're really going through so many transitions in your life. Like,
it really is, because all of our friends are no longer
married
or together. Yeah. And somebody asked me last week, like, oh, how come you guys have made it work? And it took me a second to figure it out, but it's like, okay, first, we try to like each other.
Yeah, you're friends.
Not just love each other.
Yeah, you have to like each other.
We try to like each other all the time. And somehow, I don't know if this was consciously or not, but we've been able to build our own lives alongside each other.
Right. Which is so important. Which is so important to have your own life.
Yes, for sure.
I think that's like the number one thing, to have your own lives and have them together. Like, you're taking two people from two totally different backgrounds, totally different upbringings, different life, different traumas, whatever you want to call it. And you're like going down this path together. Like, how could you not allow that person to be who they are? Didn't Will Smith say something about that? It's like a gardener and a flower. He says, it's so the gardener's job is to make the flower grow, to water it, to put it in the sun, to give it fertilizer, to let it grow, to like, you know, like, you just watch that person develop, the flower develop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else can you do for somebody else? Like, you can't control them or hold them back or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I wish I could remember exactly how he said it, because it didn't sound as good. But whatever. You get the point.
It makes complete sense. Yeah. It's right. Are you in a relationship to like have this crutch of a person, or are you?
But what you guys did is hard.
It is.
It's hard. That's hard.
And I don't even know how we.
And you actually waited a while to have kids too. So
that was smart. Waited a while to get married. We waited a long time to have kids. Yeah. So we tried to live each stage for what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm super lucky that my husband he's not into like, how do I put this? He doesn't tell me what to do in the sense of like our lives. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I think I want to do a podcast. Next thing I know, I have like 3 cameras showed up at our doorstep.
Oh,
and he's like, here you go, you're ready. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm really going to do this. And he goes, well, now you're going to do it because you said it. And, like he supports me while pushing me when I need it.
That's great.
That's so great. It's
nice having somebody like that.
Right.
That's important. Yeah.
And when I need to do my own thing, he's like, okay, go do your own thing.
Yeah. You have to have a life outside of somebody. It's so important not to be codependent.
Yes. Yeah. For both. Not because usually people think this applies to women, but I've seen some men.
I've seen some men too. Super codependent.
Extremely codependent.
It's like weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazier that it's weirder to see it from a guy than a girl?
Well, because we think like men are like, like alpha male.
I know, but we're messed. It's true. I've seen it a lot.
And I see it and I'm like, what the heck happened to you? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on? That's not normal. And I don't mean to shame anybody, but it's very, very weird. When you see
congratulations to you. I did not know you guys were childhood sweethearts. That's pretty amazing.
Well, high school.
Does
that still count?
Yeah.
High school sweethearts.
Pretty much, yeah. It's cute though.
Yeah.
See, if I was like going through my divorce, I would have been like, oh, she's so stupid. Oh my God. But like, no, for real. Like, that's like real talk. I would have really in my mind said that. But now that I'm in such a different state of my life, whether Angel was there or not, I look at people, I'm like, oh my God, they really made that work. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a hard thing to do. Like, it's a hard thing to do to sustain anything that long.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a marriage, if it's a friendship, if it's business, anything like that takes a lot of consistency, a lot of work.
Right.
It's work.
I don't know. I think there's no formula for relationships.
There isn't.
And,
No, you just have to like each other.
Yeah, you have to like each other.
You just have to like each other.
And know your boundaries.
Yeah.
Very clearly. You both need to understand your boundaries, then go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute. So, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're making it happen.
So you were like 20 years then.
Together?
Yeah.
Yes. Holy shit. I think at this point, we've been longer together than not.
Not together, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy.
And you know what the funny thing is? It does not feel like a long time.
It flies by.
It does not feel like a long time at all. Yeah.
But so like some of the like I have this one client and she always says to me, she says, like, I think it's so sweet. So her and her husband again been together for like, I don't even know how long, forever. And she was like, he's still my favorite person to be around. And I'm like, That is so sweet. I love that so much. I'm like, I love that she could still say that because most people complain about their significant other all the time. And I'm just like, it's painful to listen to.
I know. I mean, like you said, you're not going to like everything.
No.
But what you like has to kind of outweigh what you don't.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I'm not going to. There's no way in hell you're going to like everything about somebody. No way.
No, I don't like everything about me. How the heck am I going to expect him? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Like, there are things that I'm like, I can't stand myself. Like, can I just take a break from me right now?
Yeah, that's true.
It's each person's a universe. And you're...
I didn't even think of that. Like, yeah, there's so many things I like about myself. How can they like?
Yeah, like I can be annoying. You know,
your daughter said it.
My daughter told me to my face, and it can also be like my need for perfectionism. Which
are you Virgo?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Because you said my need for perfectionism.
I need it.
Oh, you guys are the worst.
And my husband's a Leo.
I'm a Leo.
Oh my god. So what day are you?
15th August.
Okay, he's 11.
Oh, okay.
So I can see why we get along. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, also my rising sign is a Virgo, so I understand your need for perfectionism. It's kind of it's like it can really like it's kind of bad. It's like good and bad.
It's bad because sometimes I'm so in my head, and unless this thing becomes exactly what I think it is, then I'm not going to do it.
Well, you know that saying they always say like one thing you have to think of like nothing's ever perfect.
Right.
Everything's evolving. Why do you think Apple comes out with a new phone every year?
Yeah.
Because nothing is ever perfect. So you just like, if you don't do it, it's like, what is it? I always tell Savannah, I'm like, not making a decision is making a decision.
Another shirt.
Another shirt, Jade.
Take notes.
It's true.
Yeah.
Not making a decision is making a decision. I know.
Dang.
Every time you get like really indecisive, you gotta be like, oh, I'm just gonna make a decision.
Yeah. No, that thing is good. Like once I do make the decision, I hit the ground running.
But it's like getting there.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then getting there, it's like
because like A, B, and C, D, E, F, G might happen.
Right. It's crippling.
I know. I have a plan for everything. I get it.
So how long have you been here in Miami?
So I left New York at 22, and then I came to Miami for a few years. Then we went up to Tallahassee, opened our business in Tallahassee for 3-4 years. Then moved to Orlando for 3-4 years. Then moved back down. So now I've been in South Florida. Like
6 years?
No, longer than that. Hold on, like 10 years.
10 years, wow.
Yeah, not Miami though, South Florida.
Yeah.
But I moved to because I was always in like Hollywood area, Hollywood Plantation, and then I moved to Miami actually a year and a half ago when I opened my business.
Nice. Glotique is only a year and a half old.
Isn't that not crazy?
Why did I think it was so much older?
Because it seems like it.
It's a testament to all the work you've put into it. My goodness, it's such like a well-oiled machine.
Thank you.
I thought it was like years and years and years.
We opened January, a little more than a year and a half then. So January 2020, like literally right before the pandemic.
That's amazing.
We had to close down I opened up, we had to close down 45 days later. I was like, oh, this is great.
Oh my God. It was not an omen. It was not. It was not an omen.
I was like, wow, what are you going to do? You know,
Yeah.
It was like, what are you going to do? Everyone's in it together, right?
Well, I'm sure people took that time at home to really look at themselves and be like, I need to go get some skincare. That's what I did.
Low key wish I never closed down, even though I had to, because so many people were like, I'm home now. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm scared.
Oh my God.
You know?
But you guys survived it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite thing about being in Miami?
Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with Miami too. But I do love like the lifestyle, like the cost of living, amazing. The taxes, amazing. The weather, stuff like that is like what I really love about Miami.
Right.
People.
So tell me if you agree with this, but a lot of people consider Miami to be extremely superficial.
It is. Yeah. But it's great for my business.
And materialistic, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, do you think that that's reflected in the clients that go to your business?
Interesting enough, no, because I believe you attract what you put out, right? And I think that a lot of my clients are really like-minded like me. Yeah. So like I said, most of them are businesswomen, independent businesswomen. You know, I have moms too and stuff like that, but most of them are literally just like me. Or they're the younger girls, I would say around like mid-20s. They're just really trying to take care of themselves. But like so superficial, no, I don't have that clientele. I don't even know. I don't think I would attract that clientele. No. Even though I'm not going to lie, I'm super vain. Everyone knows that. Like, I personally really do care about myself.
I don't know. I don't think that's being vain, though. I think that's taking care of yourself.
But I take care of myself on a whole other level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really do. But I also know that this is my business. Right. And, like, I always tell people, well, if you want to go, get in shape, you want to have a fat trainer, right?
That's true.
Okay, so if I'm telling you to have great skin and I don't take care of my skin, why would you listen to me? You wouldn't.
Mic drop.
Yeah. So, true. But I don't really get that kind. I know what kind of people you're talking about, but I don't really get it.
Yeah. I wouldn't see those people hanging out at your, because it's such a vibe.
Yeah, it's a completely different. I'm not saying that they're not there. I really don't associate with anybody like that at all. I just think maybe I don't think that I target them, but subconsciously, I mean, if
right. How hard do you think it is to teach people to care for their skin?
It is and it isn't, because I think with awareness now, with all the like preventative health measures and things like that, people realize like, oh, I have to take care of my skin, especially like the world of filters and stuff like that. I told you some things benefit me tremendously, that, like being in a city that's so superficial kind of does benefit me. Knowing that everyone's in front of a camera does benefit me and my business, because people want to look good all the time. So it's not as hard. I think actually older women, even around my age, are probably a little more difficult to convince, because they're so set in their ways, and they're also because they never took care of themselves, having to reverse damage. It's very expensive. Yeah. Very, very expensive. And it's also very time consuming. But I find that the girls that are getting a little older, like they're, like I said, mid-20s and up, they're more aware of it. So they don't mind, because they're like, oh, I know what I have to do to get to where I need to be. I think it's just teaching them properly, and then having them not listen to a bunch of influencers or bloggers that don't really know what they're talking about, or Sephora, and be like, well, I bought this at Sephora because X, Y, and Z told me to buy it. And I'm like,
I'm guilty of that.
Everyone is.
Of walking in there and just being like, help me, tell me what to buy. And then figuring out, oh, that was not a good idea.
Yeah. People have spent a lot of money and time wasted on things that don't work, instead of just listening to somebody that knows what they're talking about. I personally don't care if you buy your products from me or not. I can give two shits, to be honest. I'm like, okay, you don't want to buy your products from me? Fine. But at least, like, let me give you a formula to go by so you can make my job easier. Because, it's going to be up to you when you get home at the end of the day to maintain what I'm doing for you, right? So if you're not using the tools properly, you're going to be like, well, what you're doing isn't working, Rochelle. I'm like, no, what you're doing isn't working because you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. So like I said, if I'm your trainer and you come to me twice a week and I give you a program on how to eat, and I'm like, you need to eat these specific foods at this specific time and do all these things, and yet you decide to eat pizza and hot dogs and drink alcohol every single day, and you're wondering why your fat's still not gained and not in shape.
Yeah.
And now it's my fault. Well, it's really not my fault. Like, hold yourself accountable. So I don't care what people buy. I always tell them, I don't care what you buy. Just buy the right things. Like, let me help you buy the right things. If you think Ulta is so amazing and Sephora is so amazing and J-Lo knows what she's talking about, then please let me tell you what to buy. No, for real. I'm not saying she doesn't. I love her. I love her to death. Like, I think she's the most beautiful, iconic woman, and I want to know who helps her.
Yeah. No, the reason why I laughed was because I remember a post you made. I think she said something like she doesn't have plastic surgery.
That's such a lie.
Like, tell the truth.
Just tell me who the doctor is. I mean,
tell us.
I'm sorry. Like, someone got really insulted the other day because I had posted something about Adele. Like, Adele from I don't even know how many years ago, but you remember she was super overweight. Like she's very overweight. And now she looks like insanely gorgeous and thin, and her face is all chiseled and beautiful. Yes. And I just put proof there are no ugly girls, just broke girls. Well, this woman,
yes, that was so good. I love that.
This woman got really offended by what I said, and she's like, "Oh, you're sending out the wrong message. That's so toxic for young girls that are following you. This makes me want to unfollow you." And I was like, "Look, I never thought Adele was ugly, whether she was overweight or not. Right? I never thought the woman was ugly. However, I also know how much money it cost, whether she got surgery or not, which, I mean, usually if you're that overweight, you have to because of skin, but whatever. How much money it costs to eat healthy, to have a trainer, your makeup, your hair, your skin, all the things. Like, I'm sorry. The average person who's making maybe 60 grand a year cannot afford it. They can't.
No.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Because it probably costs $2 grand a month. So you're looking at $24,000 a year. Where are you going to get the extra for $24,000? And you're not going to spend it on your kids or your husband or your life or your bags or whatever. Come on.
It's true. It's true. I can't believe somebody would.
I don't even care. I was like, clearly I triggered her, but
I thought it was funny. I thought it was realistic because it's true.
Most people think it's funny. She did not.
Well, whatever.
But, you
can buy a sense of humor. Put it on my tab.
That's true. But yeah. So it does. It costs a lot. But no, I mean
it's
but I just wish that's all I want is people to like listen, be informed, listen to the right people, listen to the right dermatologists, listen to people who really know what they're talking about, who understand skin. Like, this is the largest organ on your body. And there's so many things that can happen. So many things that, like, I have a lot of people come to me and they're like, "Oh, Rochelle, I've never had this before. This has never happened to me before." And I'm like, "Well, you've never been this age before either." It's just life, I mean, I get it, but I'm like, I'm sure you've never had that wrinkle before, but here it is. It's just how things are. So I think it's just teaching people about the phases of their life. Their hormones are super important. Their gut health is super important. Their diet is super important. Their lifestyle in general dictates so much of their skin. So I really try to teach people about all those things, not just the fact that you're going to lay in my chair for an hour. Because if you come to an hour once a year, I did nothing for you. Right. I made your skin look pretty for a month.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all those other things in between. So how serious are you about it? What's your goal? Right. That's the number one question people ask people. The first one, what's your goal?
Yeah. It's like changing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, especially with acne or even any kind of skin condition in general. Honestly, it's a diet thing. So you have to really change your diet, which is the hardest thing for people to do. I know. I know.
Yeah. But, if you're looking to change your life, then you have to put in the work.
Yeah, if you're going to spend, I always tell people, you're going to spend all this money and then go eat like shit. Like, what? My mind doesn't like wrap around it properly. I went to get my hormones checked back like 6-7 months ago. My doctor basically was like, you have to be off of all gluten and all dairy for 12 weeks.
Oh, wow.
You know how hard it is to go off gluten and dairy for 12 weeks? Do you realize how much you cheat and you don't realize how much you cheat? To know, like, when you
I wouldn't even know what to eat.
Yeah, well, that's
all I'm thinking about is no cheese.
Yeah, but you don't even realize how much gluten is in so many little things either, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, I can do it. It was so hard, not because I was craving it, just because it was hard to find things to eat. Like, I didn't even realize it. But I'm like, well, if I invested all this money into all this blood work and all this time and all these supplements and hormone replacement, like, I'm gonna cheat for a burger?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Or a piece of pizza. Like, I can't wrap my mind. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's like, okay, I can live without it. I can eat other things. But it's hard, That's, I think, it's the biggest problem with people is food.
Food. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. You should have like a nutritionist in the office.
Well, my nurse, I have Deanna. She's the nurse. So she's really, really informed on like gut health and stuff like that. So she talks to people a lot about it.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then they can get the whole package. Mm-hmm. Like, come in for your skin, take care of the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, it's all in.
Be on your way.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. To get bigger.
When I get bigger.
So any future plans for Glotique? Do you want to share?
So my goal is to obviously have a bigger establishment. You know, it's just like right now I'm like, I'm not moving, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to grow what I have right now, but I would love to incorporate like hormone replacement therapy, things like that.
Wow.
So people can like really like glow from the inside out, you know. It's really important to me. So I want people to learn how to like take care of their bodies, because it's all connected. So their insides and their outsides. So hopefully like down the road, I'll have people doing that too.
And one last question. Any advice for women or men that are thinking about opening up their own business?
Don't do it.
Save yourself. Oh my God. No. How fast you jumped.
Don't do it. Oh my God. So I'll tell you, this is what you have to do. The question you need to answer for yourself, and only you know this answer, is, am I able to make decisions that are really uncomfortable for me for the greater good of the company? Am I willing to sacrifice time that would, like, from my family, from my friends, from my lifestyle, from all those things? Am I willing to work this many hours a week? Do I really have what it takes? Can I like, you have to know that you can do those things, because it's not like you open your business and it's a one-time thing. You know, am I going to be okay financially? Am I okay with, you know, sacrificing money for X amount of time to get to where I need to be? Like, you have to answer, you have to know all these things before you do it. Am I going to panic when I don't have enough money or not enough money, business coming in? Am I going to be impulsive and work and, you know, and make decisions emotionally instead of on financial levels? Like, you have to know these answers, and then you say, oh, I can do it. But if you literally say no to any of those things, don't do it. Be an amazing number two. There's nothing wrong with being a number two. There's nothing wrong with it. They make millions of dollars too. They just don't have to go home to the bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not the ones who have to oversee everything. Why? I always wonder why everyone, like, I always say there's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yes.
And it's not going to work, right? Like, you need people by your side. You need a team. You need good people. And it's okay not to be number one. It's okay not to be the person on top with all of it. Like, what are you really doing it for? Are you doing it because you want to be a boss? Mm-hmm. Just to boss people around? I always wonder why people do what they do anyway. Or they're like, they think it's going to be easier. It's a million times harder. You have to have so much discipline. Yeah. You have to have so much consistency. You have to have so much grit. You have to have grit. Mm-hmm. Like, do you really have what it takes? Like, you can have all the ideas in the world. Are you going to execute them? Are you going to follow through? What are your goals? I think it's an individual basis. Like, you have to know that you can do those things. But there's so many things I hate about being a boss. There's so many things I don't like. I hate firing people. Yeah. I hate telling people what to do. I hate it. Oh my God. I don't want to tell people what to do. I'm like, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm like, just no, but you do. Right. You know, are you a good leader? Are you a good coach? Mm-hmm. You're really a coach. Are you a good coach? Can you take your team to the top? You know, what's your definition of success? You know, I think all those things are what you have to ask yourself before you jump into a business. And if you're okay with those things, then do it. You ever listen to Gary Vee?
Of course.
Isn't he the best?
He's amazing.
I love that guy.
I love him so
He's like
much.
my favorite person too. I love him because, like, he's super humble. He doesn't give a shit. He tells you exactly how it is. And, you know, a lot of his philosophy, but even before I started listening to him, was exactly how I thought. You know?
I was going to say,
but way before I even knew who the hell he was. I didn't even know who he was for so long. I was like almost embarrassed to not know who he was. Until I knew who he was.
I kind of found him recently through a friend. Adrian, thank you for the suggestion. And I'm like, how did I not know who this man was? He's so funny. He's so straight to the point.
He's just real.
No bullshit. And you remind me a lot.
Like the female version. Yes. Gary, you should come hit me up.
Oh my God.
We can do a podcast.
Yes. Perfect collaboration.
He's amazing. I think I found him like a year and a half ago or something like that. And I'm like, how did I not know who this guy was? But, you know, it really is. It's grit too. And it's being super honest with yourself and holding yourself accountable. And like I said, it's okay to be a number 2. Like if I were to walk away from Glotique today, I'm the greatest employee ever. I really am. I'm an amazing employee. I know I am because I work just as hard for someone else as I do for myself.
It's your work ethic.
It's my work ethic.
It's who you are.
I've been like this my whole entire life. Like, so there's nothing different about me. So I'm a great number 2. If I could be a number 2, I'd be number 2. Yeah. And that's what it is.
Right. Yeah. I loved how honest your answer was.
Oh, don't do it.
Yeah. Because a lot, sometimes you hear a lot of like extreme positivity, which is great.
Yeah.
Like, yes, go do it for yourself, blah, blah, blah. But people don't take into account everything else that goes into it.
What I notice really a lot of too, I'm sure you notice on like the social media, is all of a sudden entrepreneurs, and they're like, and now they're mentors and motivational speakers, and convincing all these mostly women, oh, go start your own business, oh, go do this, oh, and like this false dream of bullshit. And I'm like, this is such bullshit. Who's buying this bullshit? And it kind of bothers me because I'm like, you're preying on people who are like, either insecure or want the easy way out because they look at you and they think it's easy when they don't realize how much work and time is put into it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Those are my own personal. I watch people and I'm like,
no, I share that opinion wholeheartedly. Yeah. Have you ever gotten those messages like, hey, babe, I noticed that you're a working mama.
I literally just delete them immediately.
Like, oh my God.
But it's like a marketing scheme.
It's so ridiculous. And then you have, women actually having a tough time at home. Yeah. Who would love to have a side business to get like brainwashed with these.
Like I tell people, a side hustle it literally has the word hustle.
Yes.
The word hustle is in side hustle. Why don't you think that this side hustle is going to require work for you to actually succeed? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. I'm like, what?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
And you bear the brunt of all the responsibility. If the ship goes down,
it's it. You're
it's
the captain going down with the ship.
It's all you. It's like the scene from Titanic where the guy is like sitting down with his little drink, getting ready to say goodbye.
Yeah.
It's all you.
I know.
And like you said, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Are you willing to have that as a possibility?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go into it like fearless.
Yes, for sure.
Fearless and like just whatever it takes, I mean, I first opened the Glotique. I slept there the whole week before. I slept there.
Working?
Like putting
it together?
Yeah, I did not go home. I slept because we have the beds there.
Right.
So and we had a shower. We have a shower. So I just brought my clothes. I didn't want to drive home. I knew I would work late and I had to get up early and I would sleep there the whole week before. Yeah. Sometimes I'm so tired at work, I take naps under the LED lights and the oxygen just because I need like a 15-minute break to like shut my mind off. Like people, I would like, they have no idea how much it takes. Like none. They go home to their lives and that's their lives.
Right. But at a regular 9 to 5, at 5, that's it. You can shut that off. But when it's your baby, how do you turn that off?
You don't. You have to, it's hard.
How do you balance it? Do you feel like you're able to?
Now I have a way. Well, remember, I used to live in the building too. Remember, I told you that. Yeah. So now I don't live there, which is very healthy decision.
Right.
But for example, like I don't answer people past a certain time at night anymore.
Good.
I don't answer them. I have a certain time in the morning. I answer people, and that forces people to have like healthy boundaries too. If you talk to people at 11 o'clock at night or 5 in the morning, you've now open the door for people to feel they have access to you whenever they want. And that's not okay either. Or for example, like people would DM me like, oh, how do I book with you? And I would book them personally. I don't do that anymore. I'm like, go on the website. It's right there. You go book yourself. Like just creating those little things right there can give you some separation from your job. You know? And sometimes you have to be like, I'm tired. I don't want to. It's a facial. It's not surgery. You're not going to die. Your pimple is not going to kill you. Like, it's not life or death. It's like I get it. I'm serious about skin, but you can go to sleep. It's okay. You know what I mean?
So funny.
But you have to think of it like that, you have to, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of like it's good. Like I would say, I'm glad Angel and I have like the same mindset because we're both workaholics, but I love to work. Like, I think working is fun. You know, some people are like, oh, I want to go out and party and this and that. I'm like, no, I want to get up and work. Like, I love to work. And I love
do too.
It's like
if I had a bed here.
Yeah, it's the game. Seriously, it's the game. It really is the game of it, which makes business fun, right? You got to love the game. Like, you got to be into the game. Like, it's like, that's what makes business fun, is like that, those parts of it that are the hardest are also the funnest too, because you're learning and developing and you're constantly growing. But you know, you just have to have it. But I love working. Even when I don't want to work, I work.
Right.
But then sometimes when I'm not working, I'm like, what do I do?
What am I doing today?
What am I doing today? Not working? I'm sleeping all day.
That's so funny. Yeah. So is Jade interested in going into skincare?
No, not at all. No.
She's like, nope, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't think so. No, that's not her thing. And I don't want her thing to be my thing to be her thing either if she doesn't want it. Like, she does work with me every day, which is great. Like, teaching her so much about business and people. Mm-hmm. So even that she'll take into whatever career she chooses. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she really has a full idea of what she wants to do, but she's 16. I'm like,
she's not supposed to.
You don't need to know.
She's young.
I'm like, even if her clothing line fizzles, like, she learned from it. She learned how to open an LLC. She learned how to do a Shopify. Right. She learned how to...
I don't even know how to do that.
I don't either. I'd pay someone. She created all these things. She created the whole look of it. Like, that's all of her design, all of her artwork, all of her mind on a canvas. You know what I'm saying? So she learned from it no matter what.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fun.
I'm so happy you had fun.
I did. We'll have to do it again.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do our square. What is it? What are we gonna call it? Rectangle table? We need to come up with a better name.
She said a square.
Is it even a square?
It's a square. So you're even go, it's a square.
We'll come up with a better name, guys.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you for being here and for bringing such an amazing business to Miami. I think
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your space is perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. So many more blessings that are going to come your way.
God willing.
Yeah, for sure.
God willing.
And we'll have all the links down below so anybody can reach out to you.
Oh man, you're gonna have a lot of questions. Like, what's this 90-day rule? We'll have to do like an ebook on it.
Oh my God, that would be so exciting.
Yo, so many people have asked me. I swear to you.
I'm not gonna
that 90-day thing.
Super exciting.
But I dumb it down so much. I'm like, it's so easy. It's really not. It is easy. And it's not easy.
It's easy for you because you came up with it.
That's true. You're right. My mind.
But if you had to tell people, I'm sure it could be a book.
Yeah, it's true. Step by step, how to do it.
Yeah. So to anybody listening or watching or both, we wish you a great day.
Thank you.
We hope you find all the information down below helpful and reach out to Ro for skincare, life lessons, all things.
All the things.
Yes.
All right, cool.